The biggest crypto altcoin flip is about to appear. Most of the altcoins are in the red, with prices all the way down probably 10 to 30%. Some down a few hundred and some down a few thousand. But things are about to change. With the knowledge I'm going to give you right now and the proof and factual information that I'm going to back it by, you're going to understand exactly why the altcoin market is about to boom like no tomorrow, and exactly the timeline we give, as well as some price predictions for some of the most common and known cryptocurrencies. That being said, let's jump right into the crazy knowledge, and I do have to put out a disclaimer that this is not financial or legal advice, so do not take this as financial or legal advice. Of course, guys, make sure you do smash the like button, subscribe to my channel for daily or weekly content. Some of the greatest content out there is posted on this channel, and of course, comment your thoughts down below, and let's get right into it. After a bright red market for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin to be more specific here, it is finally recovering. Of course, we did see lows of 29,000 on the 21st of July. And of course, we did see that recovery all the way to peaks of 68,000 on November 8th. And then in 2022, we started it off with $40,000, taking over $20,000 off of the price of Bitcoin. But now that things are starting to recover, we are starting to see something bright. Bitcoin is finally up a few thousand, currently 3,000 over what it was after the big decrease, and we're starting to see it constantly go up as well. The technical analysis for this is proving to us that it is working and that we are about to see a crazy pump in the altcoins, but sadly not for Bitcoin. The reason why I say this is because Bitcoin has had a past of pumping up and then crashing down, and this is exactly what we're looking at right now. We've seen the big pump, and now we are starting to see the crash. We did have the crash already, and then it comes up with a consolidation phase, which we are about to see. This is currently where we are with Bitcoin. And in reference to where we were at Bitcoin in the 2018 bull run, we seen the exact same thing with the price of Bitcoin skyrocket, a crash, and then the consolidation phase. Now, this consolidation phase actually took us a few years, 2.5 years to be specific here, and then we started to see the pump come back up where it went into its next bull run. This is of course the 2020 bull run that we're looking at right now, and back then was the 2018 bull run that we were looking at. Now, another very important thing to understand is at that time, the Bitcoin dominance was significantly down, especially during the altcoin pumps. In the most recent tops, which ended up occurring in December and November, and back in 2021 during March, April, May, and closer to that January, February timeline, we seen the Bitcoin dominance at its highest, where at some points it was actually at 72% and at its all-time high. When the Bitcoin price went to 69,000, we seen it hit highs of 72.38%, owning most of the crypto market cap. And this can even be shown in the 2018 bull run when it hit its highs of 20,000. The Bitcoin dominance back then as well was also at its highs of 70%. Now, what happened at the bottom here, where the Bitcoin dominance was pretty much at its lows and it was at 36 to 40%. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys can guess. Most altcoins hit their all-time highs then. So if we have a quick look here, this was December to February here. This is when we seen a lot of the action happen. And this went all the way from, as you guys can see here, from December to May. And if we go ahead and look at some of the top altcoins now that were alive or that were in existence at that 2018 bull run, you'll notice something very shocking. You will notice that in May, a lot of the coins actually hit their all-time highs. So as you guys can see from January to February, March, April, May, June, it was always in the green, and it did hit its high of $146 from $27. And this was Litecoin, a coin that existed back in the 2018 bull. Now, once again, referring back to the dominance here, the dominance hit its all-time low in January. So you guys can see it started off in December, crashed in January, and then we're starting to recover a bit in June here, and then once again crashed in March till April, all the way until May. Just look at this, guys. November it started to pump. This is XRP, a coin. November started to pump. December came, it started to pump, skyrocket, and on January 1st was its all-time high of $3.30. Nothing is clearer than this. Clearly, when the Bitcoin dominance crashes below that 40% margin, then altcoins start to pump. And this has been something that's been constantly repeated over and over and over again. Every single crypto that's an altcoin, when Bitcoin went below its 40% dominance, it pumped. And this is something that we found out known through technical analysis. And guess, guys, what just happened? The Bitcoin dominance right now, if we look exactly here, is at almost its 40%. I think it's at right now exactly 40%, 0.34, and it's going down and lower every single time. And as you guys can see right here, we are starting to get closer and closer to the point where crypto and altcoins are constantly just consolidating into a position where it's going to end up making a cross, and we're going to see the pump. So we're going to be getting a triangle very soon, and we believe with the technical predictions that the altcoins should pump because everything is working in its favor. So that's the first thing. Clearly the Bitcoin dominance is in the favor of altcoins. It's down. But in addition to that, there is a strategy that we use through charts that predict exactly their shape, and through that shape you can find out if they're going to pump or dump, and that shape has constantly been repeated throughout every single bull run. So let's go right into that, and the one I'm going to use as an example, the altcoin. Now here's the trick. Every single bull run there are three main things to pay attention to: the pumps, the dumps, and the consolidations. And this is exactly what happens. Every single bull run, you have a major pump. Right after the major pump is a major dump, and then a consolidation. The average consolidation, and this is what's highly likely, is 4 years. From one bull run to another bull run, it's approximately 4 years. And then from there, this is where you have to start figuring out how long your pumps are and how long your dumps are, and exactly how you can time it. And so this is where our trick comes into play as well. We have a few tricks. The first one is to understand that right after a pump is a dump. So if you don't catch the pump, you're probably already in the dump, and you shouldn't be expecting too much. Now it's easy to just talk it and say, sell during the pump, buy during the dump, and wait the 4 years for consolidation. But the real question is, when is the pump, when is the dump, and is it happening in 2021, or are we already done, and is this pump right here what we got for the 2021/22 bull run? And this is where we look at the 9-day to the 30-day cross. This symbolizes every single time you get a pump. It does miss, of course, so it's not 100%, but it's closer to a 80 to a 75%. So this is something I use on a day-to-day basis. The way this works is it symbolizes exactly every time something pumps. Almost every time the charts cross, you have a pump. Whether it's small or big is something we don't determine through this method, but we do determine that there is a pump. It happened even on the little ones, like these little pumps in August. It happened and it showed us right here in July that there was going to be some sort of pump, and of course it's been very likely. If you get a cross like this, know that in the next 30 days at least or more, you're going to get a pump. And if you haven't got one in 30 days, it's going to happen in another 40 days or 50 days or whatever. But you know a pump is coming if they cross. You know that guaranteed, and especially when they cross. Like, have a look here. In this timeline, they did cross right here. Now, it didn't show you that mark, but it did cross. It crossed, and here's the pump. And of course, it happened right here. And it's a tiny pump. I understand that, but you know, it's good enough. It's good enough to understand the point where every single time they cross, there is a pump, whether it's a year after or 30 days. You know there's going to be one, but you don't know exactly when. So this is something I use when I want to know, or I'm scared that, is there a pump? Is there not going to be a pump? Is it the end? This is what I look at. If I see they've crossed or they're en route to cross, then I know something's going to happen where there's going to be a pump. If I don't see that they're on the road to cross, well, then it looks a bit bearish for me. And right here, there is a cross. There is a good cross as well. This is a strong cross right here, which proves to me that there is going to be a pump. Whether it's in the next 5, 10, 30 days, I don't know, but I know there is going to be one very soon. Now, to answer the question, is this the pump that we were supposed to get for the bull run? 100% no. This is not a bull run pump right here. This is a normal pump that occurs right before the bigger pump. And if we go back to the 2018 timeline, which I was talking to you guys about, have a look here. Before the big pump that happened in 2018 that ended the 2018 bull run, what did we see? We seen a little pump, exactly the one we've seen right now. This is what we are. This is the stage we're in. And then what happened? We seen that pump. Everybody thought, oh my God, and this pump didn't last. It wasn't like it was a day or 2 days. This is almost like March all the way until May. So you're talking a few months there, and it kept on going. So it took almost a year. It took almost a year for that whole consolidation, little pump consolidation phase before it reached the bigger pump that actually was the bull run. Just look at this chart right here. You see the pump, and then you see the consolidation right here, and compare it to where we're at right now. This actually looks quite similar. It might be off a little shot or not, but it's overall pretty similar. You have the pump, now you have the consolidation. It's extremely close. And so this is exactly the stage we're at. Everything is lining up for the last big pump that's going to occur. And I truly believe it will. All we need next is one shot, one long line that's going to go from where we're at to the sky, and then you're going to see highs that we have never seen before. Something that's also highly important to understand is that the bull run always has to outbeat its past bull run. And we are not outbeating our past bull run where we are at right now. What does that mean? Well, it's percentages, it's not by numbers. For example, in the past, Bitcoin went up 2,000%. But right now, it's only up 1,000%. So it's not following its rule of doing better than its previous bull run, which means, once again, that there is another pump coming. There's another pump that's going to come through for not just altcoins. It's going to be the strongest for altcoins, but there's going to be another one that's going to come for Bitcoin. It's going to raise it probably another 10, maybe 20 grand before it has its real big dump. This is just a retracement. And something that you guys have to know that's a pattern is Bitcoin and all crypto pumps when people least believe it's going to pump, and dumps when people most believe it is going to pump. So it does the opposite. If people believe it's going to pump, then it dumps. If people believe it's going to dump, then it pumps. Alright guys, so here we are now. I'm going to probably end the video right here because I've said everything I want to say, and I'm just going to throw my conclusion. Right now is not the time for you to be doubting the crypto market. In fact, it is the time for you to do research and understand why it is at this point, because trust me, crypto does everything for a reason. It doesn't just out of the blue crash. It is a pattern. History repeats itself on a day-to-day basis. Everything that's happening now happened in the 2018 bull run. This is not something that should frighten you. In fact, you should have tried to get in a better position when it was at its lows, because this is what happened in 2018's bull run. People thought it was going to crash. People started to sell off. And guess what happened? The price ended up crashing. And then when people started to believe Bitcoin was done, the Bitcoin bear market has appeared, Bitcoin's never going to recover, that's when it shot up and hit its all-time highs. And this is what's going to happen to that. But more specifically, it's going to hit significantly stronger for altcoins. Altcoins are really what's going to pumping, what you're going to see skyrocket. Bitcoin, a little bit, but altcoins, a lot. And this is we are at today. This is where we are at, and this is where we're going to stay. Get prepared. I'm happy. Get ready, guys. The market is looking crazy positive. So that's going to be my video for today. I hope you guys did understand, learn something. Please hit that subscribe button because it helps me out. And if you want more technical analysis videos like that, I would be more than happy to showcase. I have done my research in technical analysis, been doing it for years now, and it is something that I really love because once again, the truth is for not only crypto, but for everything, history does repeat itself. History shows you charts, the stats show you charts, everything shows you why and what is going on. So that's what we're going to be discussing today, and I hope you guys did understand this discussion. Nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.